Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am here trying to make a little bit of a in-detail tutorial on entries and stop losses. So currently we are seeing a buy signal up against a 5-minute level. This has been breaking a few of our bullish candles over here. So I'm looking to see if this continues the looking like the trend down. So I have my MNQ over here, kind of give examples of how I would place entries and stop losses. I obviously chart on NQ, so you're going to see my charts on NQ over here on the right. I'm looking for this 5-minute to also close below this 50 for that continuation push on a failed bullish candle over here. If this can close below and I get the added confluences here on the 1-minute, 2-minute, or on the 1-minute over here and this 2-minute area, which it already did kind of penetrate through, I'm looking for a potential short here for continuation down. Now, what I'm looking at is going to be based on my 1-minute. So my entry is always going to be based on the 1. I'm going to look for a candle that breaks this zone, and then that candle that breaks this zone will also be my stop loss candle. All right, here we go. So right now we got this area right here, right? This little square right here. All right, bullish candle here, bullish candle over here. So I'm waiting to see if this will break here, then follow through with another break for a continuation push. This 5-minute is looking very good. We're at closure down here. This is going to be my continuation failed bullish move up against a 5-minute. There's a big purple on the 1 on my NQ. You guys get to see a little bit of the slight differences between NQ and MNQ as well. I always chart on NQ. But you can also chart on MNQ. You just might have a very few slight differences when the candles appear and some things like that. All right, so look at this, right? So I'm looking at entry. I'm going to enter. And oh, what a beautiful drop, actually. Looks like this is a little bit delayed. So this candle would then be my guide for my stop loss. Look at that, delayed entry. Wow. My stop loss will be placed up here. All right, and I'm going to look for my target, potentially all the way down. Take a peek, see here. All right, to this potential level area down below. I have to zoom out and see if there's any other candles, right? And that was such a delayed entry. My entry should have been up here. This is one of the reasons I don't fully trade on TradingView. I use the DOM, but I want to give an example, right, of what this will look like. So TP, let's put the TP down here, right? 3 of them. 32, actually I want to put it down at 32, right about there. My stop loss should be up here. It's very delayed. Let's see if this move continues. Actually, I'm tracking this trade on a couple of my Lucid accounts already as well. I just passed another Lucid eval, and I am up $230 on one of my fundeds. Like here, you guys can see it right there. This is where I take my trades, the Super Dom. You can see I'm already trailing 2 contracts. I want to see how this goes. That's my current P&L for this trade. This is on a funded account. I was trying to take the entry at the same time on here. Well, there we go. Let's see how this goes. It's going down beautifully so far. Let's see if we can get that pulled down to this level area. All right, and on this particular instance, right, it just so happened to line up with one of our candles that gave us the signal. That's added confluence for the play. If it was a regular candle, it still would have been the same exact kind of play with the stop loss being above the candle here. So entry is always the breaking candle or the retest candle, one of the two. I always gauge my risk based on that, and then I let the play after that. Actually, let me put another sell 3 here. All right, so about to get to our TP. There's a stop loss. All right, it's really close. It's almost there. Super duper close. I'm just showing an example. This is a paper trade account on the example here. I have 2 different tabs open so I can kind of show you an example, but I'm obviously trading it on a funded account as well. And I don't personally like to trade on TradingView because of the slight delay. We got to kind of see it. Okay, so it looks like it's not taking it, is it? All right, so I'm gonna close out 3. Let's close out 3 here. Boom. Okay. So I'm gonna now start trailing. We got. I think I got out of all of it. I'm gonna get out of all of it. I'm not very seasoned in trading on TradingView. I prefer the DOM. Like right now, my runner on my DOM is still running. I'm up right here. It's like 257 on this funded account. Okay. And this is where I'm more seasoned, but I wanted to kind of give you guys the visual of what a break of a failed bullish move play would look like. So then, again, a good example. This lined up beautifully with a opposite signal that broke the bearish or the bullish structure points based on the quantum candles here, right? And then these 2 lines were this candle that was back further behind here. Once it broke through both of them, right, this candle would be my guide, right? The stop loss on this was just under 10 points. My entry point would have been any retest zone around here, right? Even if it pulled up to this level, that would have been my entry point. And then I was looking for a push down. Obviously, I don't aim for the quantum levels as TPs because if the level is strong, there's no guarantee it's going to touch. Right now, it's getting really close. I took my TP slightly above, but it was still the 10 points. I still got my 1-to-1 RR, and that's what I look for, right? And this is live right now. This is happening in the market. Look at that, melting through the level. Beautiful short. My runner, I'm going to trail it a little bit closer because if it pops back up over 29 and holds, we could get a potential reversal point. And if it continues to go, it continues to go. I don't care, right? There's my 270 right now on this funded account. I got to show you the example on this paper account, what it looks like. And this is what I play, guys. When there's chop and you know all sorts of stuff. Look at that. Oh yeah, baby. Look, it's still going. And again, right? I got my runner running on my funded account. If it pulls up over 30, I'm gonna get out of it just because it doesn't matter to me. It could test here, and it could keep going. I don't care. I'm gonna take my 270. I'm gonna call it day. Next area potentially would be all the way down to the 800s, and then you know it could go down there and bounce potentially. This is a potential. Actually, no. I have a level all the way down here at 760. 760 would be that next level, right? And you can see how choppy it is. Today is President's Day. I expect a ton of chop, but you can see how the play lined up perfectly through multiple time frames, right? Here's your 5-minute break. Now with the 5-minute candles, right? The entry points on the 5. This is why I don't take trades on the 5-minute. Because you can see the test candle ripped through the breaking candle, right? It was a bit of a wick. It wasn't that violent, right? But it was up against this level up above, which is why I like the short. And if that candle closed below, there's a nice chance if you have confluences, right? You saw the confluences on the 1-minute as well, and on the 2, right? We had those levels here on the 2 at 850. When all those confluences line, it gives that setup extra strength, and that short played out beautifully, less than 10 points risk, and this thing is still going. I took my money already on my funded account, showed you what it looked like here. I passed an eval at the same time, and that is how I look for this particular setup on a failed bullish move here, right? The same would apply on a failed bearish move, where the breaking candle in one of our bearish candles, right? You use that same candle as your guide, right? This particular instance, like I said, the lineup of a sell signal came up with the break of a buy signal, right? Going up against a 5-minute level, it's going to show tremendous weakness if that level is strong. It didn't even tap it, so that gave you good indication that if this flips, the down push should continue, which it did. And look at this move go. Very beautiful, right? On an A++ setup, right, your entry is candle close, right? Candle close would be an entry point. Your stop loss is right here. That little line you see, that's your stop loss. So I hope that, you know, that part of the entries is clear. But everyone should understand, right, that this isn't just plain blank buy sell signals, right? This is a whole strategy. You need to understand what you're looking at and how to read the resistance points and support points, right? This buy signal to me was bad because of that 5-minute level above. This 5-minute level that formed over here gave this area potential resistance, right? Until this got broken through, then I would start seeing the move. And if you zoom out, right, what do we see here? Right, you see the beginning point here. What do we see as well? That's a failed bullish move. This was another play example. We could have gotten in here on the retest. Here's your breaking candle. Here's your retest, right? Your stop loss would have been up here at 63. So this would have been less than 5-point risk for potential, right? And I'm going to look for 1-to-1 RR at first. right? And if I see that it breaks inside this box, this zone, I know the rest of this zone could be contested. Then I might go for 10 points instead, like a normal, like I normally go for 10 as my first TP, and then let the floater float and see if it can continue the projection move down. But I got another entry point on another short over here, and what I had on the 5 minute, it all lined up, and this move is still playing out very, very well. So I'm going to be making more kind of breakdowns on this, right? And these setups with Quantum, they're identical other than the A++ setup. The A++ setup entries is always candle close, but you have to have confluences lined up. You have to have room for the play to run. Anything to do with the Quantum range and the failed bullish and bearish moves like we just played out right here, you want to wait for that retest candle. Sometimes it won't. Okay, there are instances where it won't retest, but you should always know where your stop loss is. Once you can gauge your risk, you can start entering depending on your risk, right? I don't like to go full size if the risk is too high. I like to start off light, and I do strategically DCA, but I never over DCA, and I don't DCA into oblivion. I always respect my stop loss, and that always stays true to the setup. But look at this thing go. Beautiful setup. It's approaching one of my sauce boxes. But heck yeah, guys, that was a nice, beautiful look. This thing is down already 24 points. That was just nice. Actually 30 points. What am I talking about? 30 points, right? 1 to 3 RR displayed here. I wrote it down quite a bit on my one runner on a funded account on a day where it tends to be pretty choppy and slow with volume. Right before market opens, we're at 9:09 a.m. Eastern time right now. So if you guys enjoyed this, please like, subscribe. I like to see what your comments are. Please put in a comment questions about Quantum. Guys, you can subscribe to Quantum Shift at the MOT Discord. I'll have the links up below. You guys can join me. I do weekly study sessions where you guys can literally learn and kind of follow along with what I'm reading. Everything I do, right? I narrate what I'm looking at. I narrate entries and things like that. I do it on Power Hour as well. With Big Daddy Max in the morning show, he does his show. Sometimes I make guest appearances there. But my brother, myself, and Logan, oh my gosh, look at this thing go. What a beauty. Right? To the level. Look at that. Boom. Right as we're doing the outro. But guys, please, please ask questions. I'd love to have you guys join me on one of these weekly sessions. I do them every week, usually in the evening after 7:30, after our happy hour show at the MOT Discord. The Max Options Trading Discord. Make sure you guys check out the links below for any other additional information. I also do coaching as well if you guys are interested in that. That's up to you. What you guys want to do. We have a great team at the Max Options Trading Discord. Obviously, I have my partner that I trade with, Power Hour Logan, who's also a beast of his own. So I look forward to either seeing you guys in Power Hour or seeing you guys in those Quantum study sessions. But enjoy the rest of your day, and please hit that bell, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And I'll be making more short content videos on entries and exits and all that fun stuff. But what a beautiful play happening right now, y'all. Peace out.